Climate change is here, it is terrifying, and it is just the beginning. The era of global warming has ended, the era of global boiling has arrived. The air is unbreathable, the heat is unbearable, and the level of fossil fuel profits and climate inaction is unacceptable.
It is the fifth rainy season in a row that does not keep its promise in the Horn of Africa.
The drought situation in the country continues to deepen, with the number of Kenyans now facing the crisis hitting 3.1 million.
It's the worst we've ever seen in the last 40 years.
Drought Management Authority in its January 2023 bulletin paints a worrying picture in 23 counties due to failed rains for 4 consecutive seasons.
People are getting to a point of where they are fighting so that they get to live, you know.
So I've always been an environmentalist. When I was in high school, I entered the environmental club and then I led it, and I used to try and do all these environmental events. But as I continued learning about environmentalism, I realized it's a very broad subject. You can attack it from different angles. So you can go into recycling and the aspect of the materials that we use in everyday life, how we can make them closed loop. Or you can also go into protecting our marine life, our waterways, or you can go into it through food. So for me, food was easier. As I continued researching about environmentalism and food, that's how I came upon permaculture. Now, permaculture means either permanent culture or permanent agriculture. So it's a way of growing food where you want to preserve biodiversity and you want to follow nature's example.
Normally, before we enter the seed bank, we take a moment of silence to remember all them lost seeds, lost varieties that will never come back to us. Yeah, the extinct ones. So we take maybe 20 seconds of silence. So I think we are good. We are okay.
My name is Wanjama, and I'm a seed activist for the last more than 10 years now at Seed Savers Network. And this is about mobilizing farmers in the villages to save their own seeds. It's also about trainings. It's also about gathering traditional knowledge on seed saving and conservation of local varieties. And it's also about advocacy for change of laws and policies.
The chemicals. So these are the all types of beans we have. This is the wairimu. We have the noigumba.
Thank you. Hiyo yote ama kuna zingine munapenda kuliko zingine?
What we do, since we are organic farmers, we try to perennial.
Oh, I've looked for these beans for so long. Hii wanaita rana bean?
Rana bean.
Ni bean gani?
This actually is not rana bean.
Oh.
Rana bean is white.
And these are pole beans, so I can hang them nicely?
Yes. They usually, when it will rain, they just sprout and they will fill.
For sure?
Yeah.
If I grow it once, it will come back. It's a perennial.
It's a perennial.
I love this. Thank you.
Can you see pigeon peas?
Oh, yeah, yes. Pigeon peas. Cowpeas. They are really good for long-term growing.
And also they are resilient.
Yeah. See, these are pigeon peas. It's really good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is sorghum. Wow. And they've come out nicely.
Yes.
How come mine don't come out like this?
We encourage them to be multiplied because they are resilient.
Yes, we will help
you.
you.
They are tolerant to pests,
Yes.
diseases,
The
weather. This is what we grind. These are the seeds. We harvest these ones. And when they dry, we grind them. These things are not available. And where you get them, they are very expensive.
Yeah.
Very expensive.
Why are they not available?
Because everyone is growing
Because the farmers
maize.
are not growing them. Because they are slow food. They are not coming out quickly and the people want money. Yeah. So they wanted things. Tunasikia saa tuko kwa fast food generation.
Colonialism made local people and the local food systems were very vulnerable because of displacement and also because of the fact that land had been taken away from many of the local people. We see a lot of attitudes towards local foods, local traditional cloths, anything local, sort of becoming downgraded. So kunde is very important. And so you see names like cowpea. We also have other names like, terere. Terere is also a major vegetable in the country. Terere is what we call amaranth, ama mchicha in Kiswahili. In terere, if you look at books, especially books made during the colonial period, the name of terere is pigweed. It's a weed. It was regarded as a weed, and yet it's a major vegetable in many of the local communities. Mbaazi, what we call mbaazi in Kiswahili, or pigeon peas. The name pigeon peas is a P for the pigeons. And during the colonial period, of course, the push was to produce what could be consumed back in Europe and other areas. Things like coffee, tea, of course, cotton to support the cloth industry. So the push was to produce foods that could be exported, what we call cash crops.
It's just impressing us all the time.
Yes. Thank you very much.
I see you're out to
Oh, wow.
and what's your name?
Diana.
You and Diana are just impressing us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At the base, you have a salt cracker. So that represents the soil. Then sitting on top of it, you have an assortment of vegetables that we smoked over bamboo charcoal. And then to go with all that, you also have some parsnip puree in there to introduce some creamy element in the whole dish. Not forgetting some millet that we cooked or rather we just crimped the millet that you have it on top. And to act as organics this time, you have the garden nasturtium flour that is totally edible.
Okay.
And to go with that, we have this beautiful extra vinaigrette, which represents our kitchens in our upcountry. Because, you know, when you hear the upcountry kitchens, you think of smoke, right? So this is actually, it's an uji vinaigrette, so it's sorghum porridge together with some liquid smoke. So you feel that taste of smoke inside.
Liquid smoke.
Yes.
Liquid smoke. Okay. Right. Very interesting.
It's just sorghum. Oh, wow. I did not think you could do that.
All of it is
Perfect.
sorghum and what?
Sorghum, liquid smoke, and a little bit of lemon juice, which sounds really nice.
In fact, we've done lots of analysis over the last 25 years, comparing what people like the cabbage with the traditional vegetables, especially in terms of what we call micronutrients. And we always find a factor of 10 times, 20 times, or even 100 times in terms of the amount of the micronutrients, be it iron, some of the vitamins like vitamin A, some of the Bs. You find a big difference.
I like the fact that plants can produce so many seeds. Like just one plant, you can get hundreds of seeds or dozens of seeds. So here I've planted as many traditional Kenyan crops as I can. And some of the seeds worked, some of them didn't. So we'll just take a tour of what worked and what didn't. This is saget or saga. It's a bit sparse just because a few of the weeds choked the young plants. So we'll do another planting of the saget and saga. They grow really fast as well, which is good. This was supposed to be all pigeon peas. And I only had one pigeon pea, the other seeds were normal peas. This is an amaranth flowering pod thing. And these flowers produce a lot of seed. So these are the ones that will hopefully be harvested and provide an alternative to the sorghum that didn't work. So here we had kunde before. We've already harvested and we've sold a few of the veggies, but we also ate a few. So now let's continue to the next bed. There's another traditional crop there to show you. So here we have millet, and with the millet, it's a grain, so as you can see, it looks very much like grass and also the maize, but it's miniature in stature compared to the maize. And this is a very popular crop used in Kenyan cuisine. So it's wimbi, which is what we use as porridge a lot of the time. And it's also really good if you mix with other flours to create a high density or high nutrient dense flour. It's just a few plants, but from these few plants, if I protect them from birds and other predators, I can get lots and lots of seeds so that next season I can grow a larger section of palm millet. Yes. All right, come on, let's go.
Having seed is having food, and having food is having future, is being able to determine our own situations, being able to take care of ourselves and being able to feed ourselves, which is an aspect of independence. And I want to believe this is why our freedom fighters went to forest to start fighting for freedom. And this is another level of the war, because even if the freedom came in paper, we still don't have freedom to feed ourselves. And one of the way that freedom has been withdrawn is by writing laws that disempower local people and only empower foreigners or multinationals that are part of the colonizing system.
I worked for the Ministry of Agriculture.
Wow, okay.
For some years.
Like an extension officer?
Yes,
okay.
In the Agriculture Extension Department. And when I was working there, I realized the policies we are implementing or the activities that we are doing have nothing to do with the farmers.
Oh.
Yes, they had everything to do with agrochemical industry. And funny enough, everybody who went to agriculture school in Kenya behaving the same way, like telling people to use chemicals, to use fertilizer, to use these technologies that are really not helping farmers. And so at one point I realized I am on the wrong path and I am on the wrong side of history.
Farmers who could potentially save a lot of seeds, produce a lot of seeds, and sell and be motivated by that, they are not able to do it because of the law. And if they do it like the way people deal with drugs, for instance. They are black market or something, like they have to do hiding because we have an act, Seed and Plant Varieties Act, that describe seed sharing, seed exchange, even gifting seed as seed selling. And selling of seeds that are not certified is criminal. But certification of seed, the process that anybody need to go to have the seed certified in Kenya, is so difficult, so expensive, so much that farmers cannot be able to go through that process.
Farmers exchange indigenous seeds with each other to enable food production. Now, locking farmers out of agriculture by punitive seed laws will reduce agricultural productivity, which in turn lowers income and food supply.
In Kenya today, small-scale farmers rely on exchange of seeds with their neighbors to secure their food supply. And this is largely characterized by the lack of seed testing, certification, and formal registration or quality control. And many farmers, again in Kenya, have over the years seen the need to save some seeds and share these seeds with their neighbors to grow during the subsequent cropping season. So this law, the Seed and Plant Varieties Act, Cap 326, requires the registration of seed merchants and the certification of seeds in Kenya, whereby the registered seed merchants, mostly of them are corporates or big seed companies, manage the production, processing, and packaging, as well as distribution of seeds, making it a crime to plant and exchange uncertified seeds, which are the core of indigenous knowledge by farmers who've used these indigenous seeds since time immemorial. Globally, there are only 10 companies, like I've mentioned, Bayer, Cotiva. There's also BSSF. There are quite a number of them, 10 of them, that control the seed industry. And, statistics show that the seed industry globally, it is actually likely to grow by $48.80 billion by 2027. And who are the people that are actually going to make this industry grow? The farmers who purchase the seeds. So we have laws that are actually criminalizing farmers from using these indigenous seeds. They want the farmers to buy commercial seeds that have been certified, right? But these farmers are actually enabling this system, this exploitive system, by these huge companies that want to make profits. So as a country, what are we doing? We're actually preferring or handing our food system to these multinational corporations that their main role is to make profit. They are not here to help farmers. They're not here to help farmers grow themselves or help farmers alleviate poverty. In any case, they're actually increasing poverty levels in the country.
Seeing the rains now, seeing them finally here, having everything wet and wet enough for the seeds to grow, it just has this feeling of hope to it that I don't think I can explain. But yeah, it's really, really nice to see it rain once again. So we've come to the end of our project, and now we get to harvest a few of our hero plants. This plant that we have here is the kunde plant, and how you harvest it is you pick 3 clusters of leaves and then you prune them. So I'm just going to harvest a few leaves just to showcase. The African spider plant is known for its slightly astringent taste, but it's quite good when mixed in with other veggies like the amaranth here or some spinach. Now, when you prune out the flowers, don't throw them away because these are actually edible as well, and they can be mixed in when you're cooking the other sarget. So the way you harvest a sorghum head is you pick a head that you want to harvest, and then you cut about 10 centimeters from the head, and this is what will go and be stored, get even drier, and then you can hit it against something and release the seeds that are inside the flowers. So we'll put that in the basket, and then we'll let that go to dry, and then we'll shake it for the seeds. If you could hear me garden, I would like to say thank you. Thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for giving me such a wonderful display of leaves and flowers and plants that I had never grown before, and letting me see how they grow, how they mature, how they become flowers and seeds. Thank you for bringing me birds that I hadn't seen here for years, for bringing me insects like ladybugs and dragonflies. Thank you so much, and I really hope we continue growing together and we continue becoming even better as the years go by.
I berebir na sidano kadi ne bore nyorara o na menwe nkara na ruluso ye tenaron I berebir na gisha nadi ne bore osorwa o na menwe nkara na ruluso ye Gaina